Hey everyone, welcome to Simulation. We are now sitting down with Beth Beninato. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. So, Drive.ai.
Yes.
And you're doing electrical engineering there.
Yes.
So we're adding a bunch of sensors to cars, and we are programming the car to drive autonomously.
That is correct.
Nice. And so how long has Drive.ai been around now?
3 years.
3 years, okay. And so what's going on is we're doing LiDAR, we're doing cameras on the car, and we're programming it, you said, to go from one popular place to another popular place as a shuttle.
Yes, we have a deployment in July in Frisco, Texas.
In Frisco, Texas. Okay.
Yes.
And so the deployment, all this work has been going up to this deployment. If it's a shuttle, then it must be a larger vehicle?
It's like a little van. It's kind of, actually what it is, it's the New York taxi. So it's like it's a Nissan van, but it's...
Like sits 7 people?
No, it would have 5.
5, okay.
So there's like cargo space in the back,
Yeah.
and then there's room for 3 not too big people in the middle,
Yeah.
and then there's a driver and a passenger.
Okay. And so why Frisco? Because you guys are in Mountain View.
We are in Mountain View. It turns out that in Texas, they're a little more eager to have autonomous vehicles on their public roads. And the city of Frisco in particular has a transportation problem that they're trying to solve, and which is moving these people between these different spots. In Texas, it's really hot, and people don't necessarily want to walk to go to lunch or to go shopping or whatever, and it's kind of a pain to take your car, and a shuttle is something that's really going to solve a problem, and we're very excited to solve that problem for them.
Okay, so it's a combination of it being hot, a combination of there being a lot of passenger vehicles already on the street.
I don't know if that's so much of a problem. I think parking, it's not really that far away, and just the hassle of going to get your car and then finding parking and then going back, it would just be so much easier to just, you and your coworkers just go over to the mall for lunch and then go back. And it's just way less hassle.
That makes sense. Okay, so we're talking maybe a company of a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand people is, especially around noon, all wanting to go to lunch, and then they're shuttled over to a center that has a lot of...
Right. I believe there's thousands of employees at this office park.
Yeah. Okay. And see, that makes a lot of sense. Rather than everybody getting in their own car and driving over 5 cars, then it's just a shuttle service. And it also makes it easier to program, because then you get one route programmed.
Right. It's a very good beginning for us to enter this new city. And you're right. We can define where the stops are going to be, where it makes sense, where it's safe for passengers to get on and off, and it's good for our vehicle to be able to to get to that spot and to know ahead of time that these are the 4 or 5 spots where we could stop.
Yeah. So there's a couple stops along the way as well. So it's not just one final stop.
Well, for each customer, they decide which stop they want to go to, and it'll just go there. But there are several stops that the customer could choose from when they're deciding what their ride is.
And they do this through an app?
Yes, we have an app. We have our own app.
So basically, I say that I want to take the shuttle, and then the Drive.ai will tell me if there's a shuttle waiting or how long until the shuttle arrives.
Right.
And then once I get in, then I'm prompted, do you want to get off at stop 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
I think you tell it that ahead of time. I mean, it's like any other ride-hailing app. You say,
Yep.
I'm here at stop A, and I want to go to stop C,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
your ride goes.
Awesome. Seems very efficient. I'm liking this. Because it seems as though the practical applications are not being implemented today, but it seems like you guys are rushing to get the practical implementations in.
Yeah, we want to provide a real solution. The employees at this office park are so excited. We had a kind of a media week in May where people were able to come and take a ride, and they were all so excited. They just can't wait for it to be happening for real.
Nice. That sounds like a great event. Yeah, because again, it's just the practical application of all of this time and effort that people have been putting into autonomous vehicles, and kind of the best thing we have right now is the Tesla driving autonomously on the interstate.
Yeah, and you need to pay attention.
And you need to pay a lot of attention. Yeah.
But another aspect, actually, I'm sorry, is the restaurant owners. They are super excited. They all wanted the stop to be in front of their restaurant.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so that was, I hadn't really thought about that, but I learned about it.
Oh man, because there's like dozens of restaurants, and then the restaurants are now trying to bid to have a stop potentially.
Yeah, I don't know the details of how that's being worked out, but there are many, many people that are very excited about this service.
I wonder if that will drive ma and pa shops off.
Well, I don't know who the tenants are at the mall, but
yeah, because it seems as though a company that can afford to pay for a stop on the autonomous vehicle shuttle could.
I suppose that's something that could happen in the future. I don't know if that's how it's working now. I think it's more about a safe place for us to stop.
Yeah, and making sure that it's safe along the whole route. The programming, the design is just much easier when it's a shuttle to 5 stops. And so then are you adding stops or taking off stops and changing stops? Is that happening as well?
I believe that there's a set number of stops for our, we're going to be there for some number of months. It's a pilot, and I think that the stops are set for that time frame.
Okay, yeah. Where next after Frisco? Do you guys know?
Our biz dev department is working hard.
And it's going to be another, places where there's thousands of people trying to depart for lunch. So the vehicles are going to be used primarily from around like 11 until 1 or 2 or something like that.
I think the shuttle has, it does have some hours, maybe it's like 10 to 7 or I don't remember exactly. But yes, and then there's a peak time.
Totally, peak time. And are you starting with 1 shuttle or like 5?
We'll have multiple vehicles available.
People will probably also want to go after work, which is why you should extend till 7, do a 5 till 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we're gonna learn a lot in the first couple of weeks to see exactly what the ridership is, and I'm sure that we could make adjustments, when we see when the demand is.
And then does the company pay for it or do the employees pay for it?
It's free for this first deployment.
So company pays.
My company pays, yeah.
Drive.ai pays, but not okay, so you're testing in like a partnership with their company.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I wonder if the biz dev teams figured out if the company will end up paying for the shuttle or if the employees will.
I would guess that it's a benefit that the employer would be giving to their employees, but I don't know the details on that.
Yeah. Also, what's interesting about it is that there's 5 people that all get to sit in a car and hang out together for 15 minutes and talk. So there's like a social connection as well between people.
I suppose.
Rather than all getting into separate cars.
Right. I would hope that they would be carpooling anyway over to the mall, but.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, Beth, let's ask you a couple questions that, we've been asking a little bit at WITI. What are your thoughts about maximizing the potential, especially of women and young girls into the world? How do we do that more effectively?
Well, we've got to find a way to keep girls or young women, in the sciences, and then when they graduate, to take a tech job. Not go work for a consulting company, not go work for anyone other than a tech company. I just was listening to some keynotes earlier this morning, and they were giving us all of this data, about how, there's fewer women graduating with computer science degrees now, and I don't know how we counteract it, but part of it is we need more role models. We need more, women who are in industry and in academia. Girls go to college, and they don't have any female professors, and that's a huge problem. So, we need more female college professors. We need more female leaders in the tech world. So we have to make sure that, older people don't opt out and younger people don't opt out, right after they graduate. I know there's a lot of dominoes and they're all falling on each other, and it's a big problem. But I try and, I'm a Girl Scout leader, or I was a Girl Scout leader, so I try and at least keep the girls that are closest to me, let them know that, the option is there. They should not opt out of science yet.
Yeah, having other mentors and figures around you that are helping young women become leaders themselves by helping them see that they have the potential to do
Exactly.
so. That mentorship and guidance is so important.
You need to see your future. You need to see
Yes.
someone who looks like you. And
Yes, that literature is so clear. And then, so more of that, and then now, what would you say are these skills or characteristics or the enrichments that young women will bring into these technology companies that are currently missing?
they're just having the female point of view. It's not necessarily anything that earth-shattering, but the way a woman and a man look at a problem could be different. And it's not that one's good and one's bad. They're just a different perspective, and they see the world differently. And it's just better to have more diverse minds looking at a problem. And the research is there that you're going to have a better solution if there are more diverse minds looking at it. And so it's just by being a woman or being a person of color or being, anything that's, different, just having many different minds looking at it is going to bring a better solution for everybody.
I've been saying that same thing as well, because people come from different backgrounds, different philosophies, and then when they look at a problem, they think about it in unique ways. And then if they combine their creativity towards it, usually it gets augmented. So, okay. Now, how about a question that we typically ask is, how do we figure out how to work together across the world?
That is a tough one. The time zone problem alone is a huge problem.
And then the geopolitical one as well.
That is also, I guess I don't know, coming from technology, I feel like, we're all technologists, they're doing their thing. They want to have the best solution. They use, it's a little more logical than geopolitical things might allow. There's definitely all that sort of stuff out there. But if you're trying to, make this piece of code work, trying to make this piece of hardware work, you're using, common, I think you can speak to each other in, a similar language so that you know what you're talking about and you can move forward. So if you can at least, be able to find the way to meet, via email or Skype or whatever it is, then, I feel like you could work together. But yes, of course, geopolitical problems enter into it too. I have no idea how to fix that.
It's really tough. I was just randomly, my mind wandered to what it would be like to have more pen pals, but more like Skype pals from around the world. I wonder if there's a service to just be able to sign yourself up to be a Skype pal for other people and for you to be a Skype pal with them. And then if you spoke the language, or even if you didn't, if there could be that instant translation going on, that would be super helpful so that you could learn from other people around the world and they could learn from you. And
right.
Yeah.
Well, my son is going to be going to college soon, and we've been visiting lots of colleges. And every college we visited, they all talk about their study abroad program. And I feel like they're all talking about it way more than than when I went to school. And I think that's very interesting that they're all saying how great their program is, which is fabulous that they have this many opportunities for all of these, college students to go study wherever. And even more interesting, they all tell us how great, like the high percentage of engineering students they have participating in a study abroad program, because traditionally it's impossible for engineering students to study abroad because they have so many classes that they have to take. If you were to leave for a semester or a year, you're just out of luck. You're definitely going to have to add on, some extra time for school. But many of these schools are saying, even our engineering students, they're all able to go, like, even if it's just like a summer program instead of a semester program or a year program. And so, maybe they're really getting better at that the, young students are going to different places in the world. And so they will be able to, work together with people from across, nations and whatever.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. The study abroad programs are now being highlighted more, and even engineering, they're like, hey, you can still make it work. We'll help you make it work. Yeah, that's going to help us with that global perspective. Now, how about we ask you, since we're talking about the world, what do you think is the most beautiful thing in the world?
Well, I think, people working together, for a problem, I think more, like locally, I just think that that's amazing. If you're just trying to make the world a better place in your little area, hopefully that's happening in lots of different places. But again, from the Girl Scout perspective, that's one of the missions is to make the world a better place. And you try and as the girls progress through the program, they are more in charge of it, and so they are deciding what they want to make, how to make the world a better place. And so I just think learning to work with others is just a beautiful thing. And my son happens to be overseas right now
Where at?
He's in Guatemala right now, and so he's in high school, and they are doing these multiple service projects as well as being immersed in the Spanish language. Yeah. And he's learning about Mayan languages also. Mm-hmm. But I just think it's great when young people are working together wherever they are.
Yeah, and they're seeing that people across the world are just like them.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Which is, you really need to know that. It's a very different place, and really everything about it is different. But he's staying with a family right now, and
they still eat. They
exactly.
Still have
they go to the market. Yeah, they have to. And the kids. He told me that there's not enough room in the schools, and so they split them up. So the younger kids go in the morning, and the older kids go in the afternoon. And it's like, wow, that is really interesting. But the kids go to school. Yeah. And it's. Even though it's different, it's the same. Yeah.
What about, do you think that we're alone in the cosmos?
It's interesting. My book club, we just read Stephen Hawking's book. Since he recently passed away, we decided to read the Brief History of Time. Mm-hmm. And, it just seems so unlikely that we're alone. There's just got to be something else out there. But, it's really, really big, and it could be really, really difficult for us to find this other life out there. But it just seems crazy that Earth is the only special snowflake. There's got to be. It seems like there's got to be something else out there. So I don't know.
And then, do you think that we are in a simulation?
I don't think so.
You think this is base reality?
My son might. He's into that sort of thing.
He's into simulation theory.
I think it's all real.
It's all real.
Yeah.
Beth, thank you for joining us.
All right. Thanks so much.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. As we always say, don't just take in this content, but go and make something with it as well. Go and write about it. Go and make a video about it. Go and actually go and maybe even start something with it. So we learned a lot about AI today. We learned a lot about where it's actually being implemented and where we're going to start seeing shuttle services. This is great. These first little implementations are really important. And if you guys had a good time, make sure to give us a subscribe, join us in the comments below, let us know your thoughts, share the content with other people, and potentially join us on Patreon. Help us continue doing great onsets like this with Women in Tech International and more. Thank you, everyone.